Good afternoon. I'd first like to thank Fire Chief Charles Hood, Deputy Fire Chief Christopher Monstier, City Council members that are in attendance, and members of the Independent School District of San Antonio. My name is Eloy Garcia. I'm a Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force. Currently, I'm a fire protection specialist and have been in the fire service for about 14 years. I've held positions in operations, fire prevention, emergency control center, and in those positions I've held non-commissioned officer in charge of those offices, as well as assistant chief of fire prevention and the assistant chief of operations at Kadena Air Base. Currently, I am the Fire and Emergency Services Continuous Evaluation Manager for all 86 fire departments throughout the Air Force. Today I'm here to talk to you about a problem that I have noticed since my arrival in San Antonio. The city of San Antonio is a large and growing city. When I arrived earlier this year of 2023, I noticed several recurring accidents through my commute to work, in the downtown areas, and in the suburban areas, to include my neighborhood. After conducting some research, I found that there was a study conducted by the University of Texas of San Antonio Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. They highlight an incline of motor vehicle accidents, including pedestrians, from 2013 to 2018. And this study shows that these incidences, although smaller occurrences, yield a higher percentage of fatalities and life-altering injuries. The population of San Antonio is increasing and will continue to increase as the years progress. With these growing numbers, I can predict that the number of incidences will continue to rise. This issue is a problem and requires a solution. The City of San Antonio and the increasing volume of MVAs involving pedestrians needs to be addressed. And my proposal is to use a community risk reduction plan. This plan will aim to reduce these incidences. Although it would be impossible to eliminate these incidences entirely, my team and I are aiming to educate new and young drivers and re-educate current ones. As mentioned before, the study underlines main causes the results in the MVA involving pedestrians and a general lack of education and awareness of the right-of-way laws and impaired and distracted driving. This community risk reduction plan aims to raise awareness to the community and also produce a more aware driver and educated pedestrian. Our hopes is that in this timeline, we will push a positive influence to our community, and this will reduce the number of incidences and make the roads and walkways safer environment for the citizens of San Antonio. We would start with our target audience, the young drivers, and would display visuals, presentations, and static displays at these high schools. Additionally, the material we hand out would go home with them and have their families see it as well. This would also target this secondary audience, the older drivers. Ultimately, this plan will be done ideally before the summer kicks off. As to not infringe on the fall safety campaign, which is Fire Prevention Week, held in October, and doing this before the summer will allow us to make sure that we target all of the younger audiences just before school is let out, which there will be more drivers on the road and more pedestrians on the sidewalks. We would first need to secure funding. The San Antonio Fire Department has an annual budget of $292 million, and the request funding would be $1.6 million of that budget. Our proposed ask would only equate to 0.5% of the annual budget. With this, we can use funding to purchase flyers, informational material to hand out, offset the cost of static displays, and purchase advertisements from local news channels and radio stations to get the word out. We would then schedule with the independent school district and set parameters for the safety campaign representatives to visit within the school to showcase our safety campaign. Then we will have all the representatives within the campaign conduct a SWOT analysis, or a strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis after the completion. And lastly, we would monitor the MVA pedestrian incidences throughout the year and compare it with last year's data. With the initial data, we can compare these results, start a trends analysis study, and establish baselines and benchmarks for future goals and endeavors. The resources required, as mentioned before, would be the funding from the San Antonio Fire Department annual budget. Secondly, we would need the manning to go to these schools and present this information to target audiences. With the help of the fellow San Antonio Police Department, Sheriff's Department, and other local fire departments, we would have sufficient manpower to present these schools with their designated leaves within the safety campaign. The San Antonio Fire Department would be a major stakeholder in this, as they are funding the safety campaign, as well as the community who will be affected by the results of the education that will be provided from the safety campaign. Supporting members of this would be the police departments, sheriff departments, and our neighboring county and sub-city fire departments like Leon Valley and Alamo Heights. To bring this to conclusion, I want to reiterate that the community risk reduction plan would not have come to light if it weren't for the studies done by the University of Texas San Antonio's Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. They have noted that the pedestrian crashes accounted for, from 2013 to 2018, only 1.77% of the total crashes in San Antonio. A small number, as mentioned. However, the pedestrian crashes represented 33.2% of fatal crashes and 15.7% of all incapacitating crashes or life-altering injuries. In conclusion, the data shows that the intervention is needed to educate the populace of San Antonio and educate the civilians in the efforts to reduce these incidences. I hope you will consider my proposal after today. Thank you.